That is 100% my secret sauce. I enjoy what I do. I think it shows when I'm talking about it, when I'm meeting with buyers, when I'm meeting with brands, is they see that I'm truly passionate about it. I'm not going to sell something I don't believe in.
Hey, Dr. Bill here. Now, our mentor today is my friend and patient. We actually just came from the office.
My teeth are looking good. Look how good. Yeah. He does great work.
Thank you, Noah. Yeah. This is Noah Bremen. He's the founder of bdirect Companies. It's an industry-leading retail sales and marketing force behind many of the nation's hottest products and brands, including 5 Hour Energy, Beats by Dre, VitaCoco.
VitaCoco. Yes.
Sorry. NutriBullet, Muscle Milk, amongst many others. He was born in Detroit, raised in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. He graduated from Michigan State University, where he studied marketing and advertising and played collegiate baseball. And so tell me how you started your business. Like, what was your entry into the whole marketing world?
Yeah, so, I mean, my dad, fortunately enough, used to sell brands and sell products to Kmart. So I grew up in the business. And one of the things that I learned from my dad was, like, he just had fun, man. He loved doing what he was doing. So, you know, after my baseball career at Michigan State, I was maybe going to be an actor out in LA. So I came out to LA and, you know, I realized pretty quickly that, you know, I didn't want to be broke. So I'm like, you know what, let's get into something that I saw my dad do and had such enjoyment and had such success. So I started working with the guy who created ThighMaster.
Okay, Suzanne Summers.
Suzanne Summers was part of it.
For those of you who are too young, there was a very popular show called Three's Company. Suzanne Summers was the blonde bombshell
Hot blonde,
on the show.
had amazing thighs.
Right.
Yeah. And so, you know, they needed a young guy to go out and sell their product to the world's largest retailers, the Walmarts, the Targets, the Kmarts at the time. And I was that guy. And after a couple of years, I'm like,
what kind of background did you have in sales, or was it just watching your dad?
No, you know, it was a combination. It was first of all, I loved working hard, right? Like at the end of the day, like I grew up, like I would sell stuff on the corner at Michigan State, like I would be selling T-shirts or hats, whatever it was. Like I was there to hustle. Period. End of story. And I saw my dad do that, and so that was kind of like the start of, hey, you know what? You want to start selling? And I meet the guy who created ThighMaster, and it's like they saw that in me.
And you know what I got to say? No matter what you do in life, if you want to make money, you're selling something. Like, I don't care if you're a scientist or even a dentist. Like, I'm selling dentistry. So
100%.
Learn how to sell early. Like, any experience you could get in sales jobs, I think it's worth it.
It has to be. Listen, at the end of the day, for the most part, you're in a people business. Like, you got to learn how to connect with people. You got to learn how to talk to them. You got to learn how to sell something. Like, that's just, I was raised that way. Thank God my dad that's who he was. And so I learned from a great salesman, and I applied it to every single thing that I've done.
So your first big product was ThighMaster.
That was the first big one that I actually worked for a company. So you're like
this young guy walking into Walmart saying, buy this?
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
So, I mean, with that brand, which was amazing, like, you know, that's when the TV business was in its infancy. So, you know what? It was so hot and everybody wanted it. So that one was kind of an easy sell. Like that was like, how many can you get? Let's get this going. And you know what I mean? That was an easy one, right? But like, as it kind of got going, like I realized like, hey, you know what? I want to be involved with all the disruptive brands. Like, so the next one that I found was the Razor scooter. I don't know if you remember the Razor scooter, the metallic. Yeah. So like literally just being very observant of what was happening and what kids were into and what was going on. It was kind of near like the .com craze. Like that was kind of the badge of honor, is that I would scoot everywhere. And I met the guy, you know, from networking, right? Like networking is a big deal. So I was networking with a lot of different companies, and they're like, hey, have you seen this Razor scooter? I guess it was the #1 seller on Sharper Image. And I'm like, let me meet these guys. And so I met them, and I said, hey, let me represent you around the country.
But the thing is, so you guys have like 30 employees out by Walmart.
No, actually 65 employees in Bentonville.
Out there, and then 30 more here.
30 in Los Angeles, yes.
And so, but you're not just selling. I mean, you guys are kind of a 360 full service marketing company. What are all these employees doing?
Yeah, so I mean, listen, when in Bentonville, Arkansas, we are really focused on managing these clients' businesses at Walmart. Walmart is, the world's biggest retailer. So you better be, you can't be out of stock. You better be shipping. So your logistics have to be on point. You have to make sure that when you're presenting to Walmart that you're doing it the right way. And so we advise and guide our clients to make sure they're the best, right? So like when you go to Bentonville, Arkansas, there's like 2,500 teams on the ground there, right? So Procter & Gamble has 400 people that's just working with Walmart. And so for small to medium-sized brands, we act as their team on the ground. So our team is fighting for shelf space for our clients. We're fighting every day. We're fighting for displays. We're fighting for promotions. And that's what we're doing, right? So that's a big win. If you're a small to medium-sized company, if you're going up against a Procter & Gamble for shelf space, like you better be on point. Right. So
let me ask you this. What would you say in your career was the one product that was probably the most challenging, but you had like the biggest win on? Like one where everybody said like, no, Noah, this will never.
Believe it or not, 5-hour energy.
Really?
For whatever reason, and this was kind of the beginning. They didn't really understand it. Okay. And the buyers at that particular time thought it tasted terrible. They didn't understand that people really loved the impact and loved the energy of what it gave, but they just didn't get it. And so we literally had to hammer at it. And I'll never forget when the buyer was like, all right, I'm going to test this. And we tested in 1,000 stores, and it literally was absolutely huge. When we stopped working with them, they were doing $300 million at just Walmart. So $300 million in sales from zero. And the buyer thought, because of the taste, it was just his opinion, it was not going to do well. And he was dead wrong.
Time for a new buyer.
Time for a new buyer, believe it or not. But that's what we do, right? We keep pushing, we keep fighting for brands, because you would think 5-hour energy, which was super successful at C-stores, that particular buyer didn't see it for the mass customer.
So where are you getting products? Like, are people coming and pitching you, or are you out researching, looking for like the next big thing?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. But really, when we have our big successes, it's when I'm very intimately involved in looking for the next big disruptive brand. And they can come from anywhere. Really, like, Beats by Dre, I just happened to be friends with someone that was, friends with Jimmy Iovine, right? And so that was a very cool, unique experience, but I had never sold anything really in electronics.
They bought my building.
No, I didn't know that.
Right
That's
across
amazing.
the street.
Wow.
From Smashbox.
That's
Culver City.
Oh, okay. That
was my building.
Wow.
That's
where
awesome. Discus was.
Well, that's amazing. See how that's full circle. And that was one of the biggest, and that was a unique situation because Beats by Dre was already in Walmart, okay? But they just weren't merchandised right. And I'll never forget, Jimmy Iovine goes, Noah, if this is not merchandised correctly, right, if you don't fix this soon, I'm going to pull out of Walmart because I don't want my brand to be represented this way. And so we had long talks with Walmart. We discussed how it was going to be merchandised, how it was going to be placed, how the display was going to look so the Walmart consumer could get it and understand it. And so they went from doing maybe $5 or $6 million to, I think at the end, when Apple bought them, they were doing about $275 million just at Walmart.
Amazing.
So,
and I think one of the things too that you have to really realize is just because you have a successful business in a niche, the only way to keep that business successful is to evolve. And so whereas Walmart was kind of the whole business, now a lot of your business is Amazon, right?
Yeah, no, I mean,
that's a completely different strategy.
Yeah, it's completely different. With Amazon, especially on the third-party marketplace, you have to be uploading content. You have to be changing price points. You have to be working in a literally 24/7 omni-channel approach. And that's really what makes it different. So we have 30 people in LA, but we have 30 people in India because we have to have people that are constantly.
No kidding.
Yeah, so it's becoming a worldwide deal. Amazon is incredible how much you can do, but you have to stay on it every second of every day.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So if a student out there says, no, I love what you're doing, and I want to grow up and be just like you and do this, What would you say? Like take marketing classes? Like
yeah, I mean, I think I think there's a combination. Marketing and advertising is definitely like you need to know the hook of what these brands represent and why they're winning and why they're reaching consumer. Right? At the end of the day, each one of these brands that we work with, they've touched a consumer in a particular way. Right? And so you have to understand the basic marketing principles and basic advertising fundamentals. But another thing, I mean, I'm in a people business. You got to be able to be social. You got to be able to be out there. You got to be able to understand where trends are coming from and how to kind of react and understand what your place within those trends can be, right? So really understanding how you can help these particular brands, but understand the basics of advertising.
But if I said, like, give me a blueprint, like I'm starting college today, and I want to go into marketing and do exactly what you're doing, what steps would you take?
So, I mean, the way I went, I mean, I loved advertising. I loved marketing. I loved like writing copy. I actually really liked and enjoyed like what the messaging and marketing message can be, how packaging looked like why is that going to pop off the shelf? Those are things that I really enjoyed. And so I would tell somebody coming up, like really understand that, like really understand, why a marketing message is there. So I would definitely take marketing classes, but again, like the hustle part of the business, and that means really being a student, really working hard, like that has to be part of your DNA. Like you have to really enjoy. I believe in having real passion for what you do, and it can't feel like work. It has to feel like fun, right?
Yeah.
Because everything, listen, you're not always going to get the right brand. You're not always going to get the right answer that you want. So you have to have fun at what you're doing, and it doesn't feel like work.
Would you say that that's probably your like secret sauce?
100%. That is 100% my secret sauce. I enjoy what I do. I think it shows when I'm talking about it, when I'm meeting with buyers, when I'm meeting with brands, is they see that I'm truly passionate about it. I'm not going to sell something I don't believe in.
One of the things that I really preach at Leap is to copy genius.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite podcasts is How I Built This by Gary Graz.
Yeah.
And he always asks this question. So I'm going to copy genius and ask you the same question.
Yeah.
How much of your success do you think was based on hard work and how much on luck?
I think hard work makes luck, period. I really do. I think, taking that extra meeting that extra person, being observant of where you are and your surroundings, like that's, all encompassing of what has made me, get lucky, I guess, right, is by that hard work. So I think you have to have the hard work to get lucky, period.
I don't know if this is an uncomfortable question, don't answer it, but annually, how much are you responsible for in sales a year?
Close to, a year, like 2.5 to 3 billion, right? So,
dude, that's nuts.
Yeah. So listen, we sell a lot of stuff. We work hard, right? And a lot of these brands do great, and we sell them at, the masses, the masses around the world, right? Amazon and Walmart, you can't sell more stuff. So, we sell a lot of product, which is good.
If you could basically like wave a magic wand and tell me this is what my company is going to look like in 5 years, what would that look like? Yeah,
I mean, it's really, so I'm obsessed now with the direct-to-consumer business, right? Like I think everything's about like just being hyper-focused on the consumer, right? And so now with all the technologies and social network, social marketing and every aspect and all the tools you can use, you can reach your consumer one person at a time, and that's where it's at. Things are personalized. So I think we're going to be really focused on that. We're going to be focused on investing in a lot of those type of brands, right? The Smile Direct Clubs, the Harrys, the Romans. I mean, these are brands that we're working with. These are brands that we've invested in. Like, these are brands that we are all about. And so I think that's going to be, next 5 years, I think it's going to be very interesting to see. And I think also just experiential brands that like, not only are you, using them and working with them, but you're experiencing something with them, right? Because retail is evolving, right? Because you can buy stuff. We could be buying stuff right now, right? And but how are you going to get in the store? You got to experience stuff, right? And so I think that's what's going to be what's happening in the next 5 years.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Any other words of wisdom that you'd like to give our students out there?
Yeah, I mean, Unfortunately, the death of Kobe Bryant, who was a huge mentor for me, if you read up on the Mamba mentality, I think it's really interesting. I think there's some really cool advice that he gives, which is really focus and working on the things that you love and to be great at what you're in love with, right?
With that.
Yeah. Sorry to end on a sad note, but it's
Yeah.
a really motivational. I'm telling you just the words that he uses. I would definitely look at that and read about it.
He was iconic. And, the other thing, too, I love the way he thought about failure. The same way I do, is that so many people are afraid to fail. And it's just a perspective. And my whole thing is I never fail. Never.
Yeah.
And I'm not cocky. The thing I'm saying is you only fail when you quit.
For
So
sure.
if you try something and it doesn't come out the way you want, that's not failure. That's practice.
You're learning. Yeah.
And Kobe practiced a lot.
Yeah.
So just practice and practice and practice till you get it right.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Noah, thank you.
Thank you
so
for having me.
much.
Awesome.
We will have Noah as a mentor at the Meet the Mentor. Dr. Bill, over and out.
Awesome.